Right everyone, it is Finn here and welcome to my Premier League Matchweek 16 predictions, the final Premier League matchweek before the World Cup begins. Now let's be honest, there's a lot more focus at the moment it's being put, let's be honest, on the World Cup. I'm going to make this Premier League prediction video as short and sweet as possible. I mean, let's be honest, more people care about Brazil's 26-man squad than they do about Everton versus Bournemouth.
You want to hurt me? Go right ahead if it makes you feel any better.
But you know what, we've still got some fantastic games ahead, so I hope you guys enjoy the video. Don't forget to subscribe down below if you are not already. Of course, the goal is 8,000 subscribers before the World Cup even begins. Might sound optimistic, but I'm sure we can hit it. But jumping straight into our first game of Premier League Matchweek 16, the final Premier League matchweek before the World Cup, we have Man City versus Brentford. Now, part of me still cannot believe we're not going to see the brilliance of Erling Haaland at the
I should have been there.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's kind of fair. Maybe they don't want a player to score 20 goals at the World Cup. But looking at Man City versus Brentford, saying I'm going to keep things short and sweet, I'm just going to get straight to the point. I can only see Man City winning this one, and I can see them winning it 2-0, and maybe that's even generous from me. As we know, this is kind of a game where points do matter. Looking at City, they've gotten a lot more points than Brentford. I do like this Brentford team, but only 3 wins this entire season. Versus Man City, there's only ever going to be one winner. Now, jumping into our next game, we've got Bournemouth versus Everton. We've got the Cherries versus the Toffees. Now, to be honest, once again, I think that this kind of fixture is very, very underwhelming or very disappointing. And the reason I'm saying this is because 2 years ago, we were in a place where Bournemouth were getting relegated and Everton were talking about fighting for a European spot.
I think you had it for a moment and then you lost it.
Oh well, it was nice while it lasted, right?
Now here we are 2 years later, Everton are in 16th place and Bournemouth are in 17th. The way Everton have fallen over the last few years, it is so sad to see, and looking at them this time around, it will be an incredibly close game. And because of that, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Once again, I could give Everton a win here, but I've seen a lot from Bournemouth this season. I don't think we should underestimate them, and looking at Everton, they could definitely get points here. Once again, I'm saying they should get points, but to be, I hate to say it, frank with you, they haven't gotten the necessary points, and it could be a very, very close game. Once again, could go absolutely either way, but I think a draw is in order. Now, jumping into our next game, it is a game that shouldn't be a draw, but knowing this current Liverpool team, it very much could be, as we have Liverpool versus Southampton. Now, Liverpool are kind of like the Robin Hoods of the Premier League at the moment. They seem to be giving points to the teams at the bottom and taking them from the teams at the top. I've got no idea what to think about Liverpool, but versus a Southampton team that have just sacked Hasenhüttl, they should definitely take the points. Obviously, Southampton, I've got no idea how they'll play without him. Obviously, I guess he was kind of a haunted hassle.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Anyway, whatever I'm trying to say there, looking at this current Southampton team, they just haven't been great this season, and even versus a struggling Liverpool team, I can only see one winner, and I would be surprised if it was anything less than a 3-0 win. It will probably be a Bobby Firmino hat-trick and hatred towards the current Brazilian team, but we'll have to see what happens. Now, jumping into our next game, we've got Forest versus Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace have been phenomenal this season. The fact that they've only lost 4 games, they've been brilliant in terms of getting results lately. On the attacking front, they've been good. Defensively, they've been solid. And versus a Nottingham Forest team that are struggling to get wins here, I can see Crystal Palace winning this one 2-1. I mean, we are so lucky as football fans. Forget about prime Messi and Ronaldo. We are witnessing prime Wilfried Zaha, and it is beautiful. Now, jumping into our next game, we've got Tottenham versus Leeds United. Now, yes, I know Tottenham have lost a lot of points lately. They've lost 4 out of their last 7 games.
Yeah, I prefer to kill him.
And versus the Leeds United team that have won 2 games in a row, it could actually weirdly enough go either way. But looking at Tottenham, you do have to look at the teams that they have lost against this season. They have lost against Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal and Newcastle United, all top opposition this season. So although yes, they have lost quite a few games, I still don't think we should underestimate them, as they have been against top opposition. I do think that this could go down as a 3-2 win once again though, with Tottenham not having Heung-min Son in the squad due to his eye problem. Once again, that could be very risky in terms of their attack, but they should still be better than Leeds United. Now, jumping into our next game, we've got West Ham versus Leicester City. Once again, super interesting game to talk about, as Leicester City are in 14th place, West Ham in 15th place, both very, very underwhelming this season. And in terms of results, I think I might go for Leicester City on this one. Once again, it's not a result I'm comfortable with or confident in. It could go either way, as we know West Ham United have lost weird points here and there, just losing 2-1 to Crystal Palace, while Leicester City have picked up a lot of valuable wins lately. Once again, on the attacking front or defensively, everything. I view these these two teams as very, very similar at the moment, so it could go either way, but once again, just kind of a toss of a coin. I think Leicester could take it. Now moving on, we've got arguably, dare I call it the biggest game of Matchweek 16, which imagine telling football fans 2 years ago that not Newcastle United versus Chelsea would be the game of the season.
That's impossible.
As we know, Newcastle United currently 3rd place, Chelsea 7th place. I cannot believe what I'm witnessing in the modern era of football. Looking at Newcastle United, they have the joint best defence in the Premier League this season. They have the 3rd best attack, and versus a struggling Chelsea team, I can't believe we're in an era where I'm going to say this, but I think Newcastle United could beat Chelsea 1-0. I mean, it could easily be a 1-1. I think Chelsea have elements of luck from time to time, but looking at how they are absolutely dominated by Arsenal in the previous game, I could see them conceding a goal versus the Paraguayan Ronaldo, also known as Almiron. Once again, look at Newcastle, they've been in top form, and I back them to get the win. Now, moving on to what I believe is maybe our 3rd last game, we've got Wolves versus Arsenal. Now, I always do kind of view this as a very, very close game between these two teams. I always feel like Wolves kind of have something in it. But this season, as we know, been heavily underwhelming. I mean, Diego Costa should be returning from his red card suspension. So I don't know, maybe he could break a few players' legs at Arsenal. Who knows? Maybe he'll get revenge on the fact that David Luiz injured Jimenez and that destroyed Wolverhampton Wanderers. Maybe Diego Costa will get his revenge for Wolves.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Who knows? But once again, jokes aside, look at this Arsenal team. 1 loss all season. They dominated Chelsea in their previous game. They've been so phenomenal throughout the season. I think things could get ugly here, and I think we could see the Huntsmen, the Gunners, shoot down the Wolves, and I think it could be a very comfortable 3-0 win. Now, jumping into our second final game, we have Brighton versus Villa. Once again, don't forget, if you have enjoyed these videos, if you enjoy my prediction stuff, don't forget to subscribe down below. It does help the channel out.
No, I don't think I will.
But looking at Brighton versus Aston Villa, obviously Aston Villa, first game under Unai Emery, they demolished Manchester United. Now, taking nothing away from Aston Villa, they were good in that game. As a United fan, I can proudly, if you want to say it, admit that a lot of it just was down to the fact that Man United weren't playing a good game.
Don't give me hope.
Versus Brighton, a team that can play a good game, I feel like this will be a lot closer than the game versus United. Looking at Brighton, they've picked up some very valuable points this season. Currently in 6th place, they can be very, very proud of themselves, and it all depends on whether Aston Villa can continue their momentum under Unai Emery. Once again, I feel like this could be an incredibly close game, and because I think these two teams are very, very similar in terms of what they can produce, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Once again, not necessarily a result I'm confident in, but I do think these two teams are very, very similar at the moment. But ladies and gentlemen, that takes us to our final game of Premier League Matchweek 16. In terms of whether it will be a sweet 16 or a bitter one, we have Fulham versus Man United. Now, once again, I hate to say it, but looking at Fulham, they are a team that could take points from Man United. They were abysmal versus Aston Villa. I mean, the fact that we only lost 3-1, I mean, it was kind of generous of them, to be honest. We were absolutely horrific in that game, and versus Fulham, with an informed striker like Mitrovic, things could get ugly here. But once again, knowing United, you probably should still predict them. They are in 5th place, Fulham are in 9th place. It could go either way. Although, once again, as we know, Man United are not like Liverpool at the moment, can be a Robin Hood club in terms of who they give points to. I do think this will be a 2-1 win though. We know this Manchester United team, we know on their day they can step up, but we also know that they can fall down the stairs when it's not their day. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for my Premier League Matchweek 16 predictions. Once again, it is the final match week before the World Cup begins. I'm so tremendously excited for the World Cup. Obviously, let me know in the comment section down below, who are you going to be supporting at the tournament? Obviously, as a South African, I don't really have a nation going to the World Cup. I'm kind of disappointed on the national level and the club level in terms of who I support lately. So I want to hear who you support down below. Don't forget to leave your predictions for this Premier League match week in the comment section down below. And of course, this has been fun, FYNN, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Cheers.